Hello and welcome to a New Year's episode of the Munce Report as the stable looks to kick off the new year in the same fashion it finished off 2020. Trainer Chris Munce joins us to bring us the latest news and previews. Welcome, mate. It's been a strange old year for the world in general. How do you look back on 2020 and what are your ambitions for the new year?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly been challenging in more ways than one, I suppose, hasn't it? I mean, the whole world's had to change the way we live and go about life in general. But look, I think at the end of the day, the racing industry's done a terrific job to be able to keep progressing and be able to keep businesses going and basically keep a lot of people employed. So, I think we've got a lot to be thankful for, but there's a lot of things that we still need to do for the next 12 to 18 months.
Sure. And the stable, from a racing point of view, you obviously started the racing season, which started in August strongly. And that theme certainly continued at Eagle Farm on Saturday and Doomben on Wednesday for that matter. So let's recap some of the results over the past week. Stampy took his prize money earnings past the 400K mark, which is obviously a remarkable achievement. He scored a determined win to sort of, I guess, avenge his narrow defeat in the Gateway.
Yeah, I was really pleased to see him be able to win the way he did there on Saturday. It certainly shows that he's a good quality galloper. He sat him behind the speed. Justin rode him great, and he certainly put him to the sword pretty quickly when he turned for home. And he's come through his run really, really well. So there's no problem with backing him up on Saturday. Obviously, we've got an awful draw with barrier 17, but look, he's in form. He's certainly an improving galloper. And he's only going to get better with racing.
Yeah, obviously, as you mentioned, looking to back up this weekend in that $200,000 Magic Millions buffering over 1,400 metres. So obviously touch on him a little bit more when we get into the preview. Skate to Paris was another brave performance and picked up another black type placing to her name with a tough third in the Burnborough Plate. And I guess you'd be thinking that's the perfect tune-up for Magic Millions Day.
Yeah, I do believe so. Look, she's just a terrific mare. I mean, we keep talking about her, but she just keeps aiming up. Her first two runs were in unsuitable races, but she still ran on well. And then on last Saturday, clearly she should have won the race. You know, she was stuck three wide facing the breeze a trip, but still had the tenacity to fight on and only get beaten a narrow margin by a horse that's won its last 11 or something. So, you can't take anything away from her. She's a quality mare. And it was just it's a shame she couldn't win there on Saturday.
Yeah, sure. And that took her prize money earnings past the $550,000 mark. So both of those runners certainly flying the flag for the stable. And speaking of Magic Millions, obviously, with Skate to Paris on song for that, I believe you could have 5 or 6 runners on the day. Rhapsody Rose still well in calculations there for the big one, the Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. What's the latest news with her as far as her preparation leading into the big race?
Yeah, well, she's perfect. I couldn't be happier with Rhapsody Rose. I'm just timing my run with her. I'm not sort of getting carried away with all the hoopla that goes with all the media hype going into the race. I'm sort of keeping her nice and below key, and she'll have a jump out on Tuesday. She'll jump out nicely, and then I'm hoping that I don't have to run her again on the Saturday before. But if at any stage that I feel that I need to run her on the 9th, well, I will, but I'd probably prefer just to trial her on Tuesday and just go straight into the race fresh. She's a quality filly, just keeps on improving with education and racing, and she's very tough.
And another runner that's now sort of emerged in the mix to add to the team, potentially heading to Magic Millions Day, is Dagger, who made it 2 wins from his past 4 starts with a midweek Metro win at Doomben on Wednesday. I believe you're sort of now toying with the idea of running him in the cutest race, should he have enough sort of prize money and ratings points to qualify?
Yeah, well, that's going to be the sticking point. I mean, he'll obviously go to a rating over the 70, which I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get him in the race, but we'll probably target the cutest race with him. And if by some chance he does happen to get a run, or, we can get him in while he'll run. But he probably needs to have a little bit more prize money and rating to get in that race. But certainly we'll be running him if he does get in.
Okay, and then the others potentially in the mix also for the big dance on Magic Millions Day are Boom Nova and Kabak, and I believe they're going around at the Gold Coast on the 9th, that week leading into the big meeting.
Yeah, well, Boom Nova's probably in a similar boat to Dagger. She's got to get a little bit more prize money and rating up to probably get in a few of these better races. But I'm kind of hopeful that she can get a run in either Fillies and Mares or the Cutest race. She's a nice filly, this Boom Nova. Just keeps on improving. And Kavak, well, he will have enough run, enough ratings and enough prize money. I'm still undecided what race we run him in, whether he runs in the 3-year-old Guineas or whether we run him in the sprint race yet. That'll be decided after he performs next Saturday at the Gold Coast.
Okay, well, it's exciting times. Looks like, there could potentially be a big team, potentially your biggest ever, heading to Magic Millions Day. So exciting times, and obviously got the sales leading up into that too. So how's the homework coming along with the sales on the horizon? Obviously, it's a big couple of weeks for everyone involved in the racing fraternity.
Yeah, well, it sure is. I mean, there's plenty there to look at, so we won't get lost for time and not know what to do with ourselves. But there's some nice yearlings there up for auction, and I'll certainly be looking forward to getting into it and having a look at most of them.
Very good, mate. All right, well, let's get into the preview for Saturday. Just the one runner at the feature meeting at Eagle Farm, who we've already touched on, Stampy, who he earned himself a nice few days R&R out at Fenwick Farm during the week to, I guess, freshen up between runs. No favours with the barrier gods here, though. Barrier 17.
No, look, it's just a bit unfortunate, but I mean, the positive is it is Eagle Farm. I was always of the belief when I was riding that you can overcome bad barriers at Eagle Farm. It's just they get a big, nice, long run down the back straight before they start turning, and I think it's just a matter of Justin riding his own horse and riding his own race and not getting too carried away with what's going on around him. And the horse should have enough speed to be able to put himself into a competitive spot within the first, 150, 200 metres. And from then, it's just a matter of Justin getting him able to relax and settle and get into his rhythm. He's got a high cruising speed, and he's very fit, so I'm sure he'll run another honest race.
Sure, and that obviously, if he performs well, that could also earn him a ticket to Magic Millions Day to join the others.
Well, it will. I mean, if he happens to win the buffering, that gets him a wild card entry into the Magic Millions Cup. And that same deal applies for him. If he does happen to get a wild card entry, he will run in the Magic Millions Cup.
Very good. Friday's New Year's Day meeting in Ipswich, you've got two runners engaged there that have accepted. So Trip Tonic, first of the two, kicks off his preparation for BK Racing and Breeding. He's trialled nicely leading into this. What are your thoughts on him? Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with how he's coming up, this horse. I'm a bit in two minds whether I'll run him or not. I just think that he's a horse that's going to get out over a trip, and that's the reason I did have him in this race. But I'm just not sure whether the 1350 first up might be a bit too much for him, and whether I just sort of look for another race around the 1200 metre mark. But if it happened to fall away, well, he may well go around. But he's come back in good order, this horse, and he's certainly going to win his races this time around.
Very good one to keep an eye on this prep. And then you've got last start winner, Royal Sheen, for Kathy Munce, lining up at the same track and trip where he scored impressively last start. Just stepping up in grade here to a benchmark 65. How do you think he'll handle that rise?
Yeah, well, I think he'll win again. I mean, he's just improved, probably one of the most improved horses in the stables, this guy. He looks $1 million to the eye. He's just, his coat looks great. He's bright, he's bouncy, he works good. So I've got no reason to think that he won't run well again for us. He's going to get the right sort of run. Kyle knows him well after riding him the other day. So I think he'll be right in the finish there once again.
Very good. Well placed by the sounds of it. And what do you think? What's been the change with him, mate? As far as is it just that confidence from having that first win? He's obviously put together 2 wins this preparation.
I think so. I think we've changed a few things around with the way we ride him as well. We've sort of ridden him a little bit more conservative his last few runs, and he's been finishing off really well. Probably got sucked into a false sense of security that he might get out to a trip at early stages, but I don't think that's the case. I think he's more a 1350 to a mile horse. I think that sees him out because on his track work, he works like a Saturday horse. But he's just taken a little while for the penny to drop. And now that we're sort of just changing a few things up a little bit with it, it seems to be working. And like I say, he's in good form and he's very healthy.
Very good. Well, interesting to see how he goes and whether he can put together back-to-back wins. Then we head over to Sunday. There's 2 meetings, Sunshine Coast and Ballina, where Hairdo is acceptor at both. You're leaning either way. With her, she was obviously had no luck last start when 4th at Ipswich on the heavy over the 1350.
Yeah, so I think at this stage, depending on the weather, she'll probably go to Ballina now after the fields have come out. She's drawn barrier 1. She's Bob's. She's got Bob's value there beside her. So for that reason, I think we'll probably head to Ballina. But obviously, if the track was very heavy or they got a lot of rain down there, we've always got the option to go to Caloundra. But on her work, she's ready to show up and do something as well. She's a nice filly, and she's another one too that is, in my opinion, she's starting to come right. So I think it's a nice race for her at Ballina. Should we go there?
Okay, mate. Well, that's the runners for the week. A little bit quiet on the runners front, heading into what's going to be a really busy period coming up with those feature meetings at the Gold Coast. So all the best to yourself and the crew, the Munce Racing team, and all the owners for the new year.
Good on you, Adam. Thanks very much.